Welcome back to the lecture series in nanotechnology in agriculture. So, today we will be starting another aspect of application of nanotechnology, that is in animal production. So, whenever we talk about agriculture, there are two broad areas which comes the front. One is the plant side, the other one is the animal side. And if in the animal side, if you look at it, so to start off with, so what we'll be dealing today will be basically nanotechnology in animal production. Okay, nanotechnology in animal production. So, when we talk about animal production, we are essentially dealing with multiple sections of animals and for their multiple utility. So, one of the major industry what we talk about will be the dairy. So, all the milk producers. Then we will be talking about the meat producing animal. Then we will be talking about fisheries, and occasionally we can also talk about some of the insect related stuff, especially when we talk about something like silkworm. So, this is one way you can classify them, or you can classify them based on the animals, but I purposefully focused in this particular classification. That way you can see the utilitarian value of it. So, when we talk about the dairy, we are talking about a series of cattle which include, in the Indian context, will be cow, buffalo, and in a slightly lesser side you can have yak, you can have camel, you can have goat, sheep, and likewise series of them, but the major chunk is out here. In terms of the meat, you have poultry, you have beef, you have goat meat, and few others, but these are the ones which are prominent. In terms of the fisheries, you have two classes of fisheries. One is for the food purpose, the other is for the ornamental fishes, which is also a very big market. And in terms of insects, silkworm, lac, and few other insects which has commercial significance. Now, when we talk about animal production, what are the areas what is being dealt? Now, where nanotechnology may come handy. So, let us make a rough classification of the areas where nanotechnology may be very helpful. So, one of the areas where nanotechnology will be very helpful will be food and food additives, especially as will be discussed further with this informal discussion. When we talk about the food additives, so if we look at human nutrition, just for that's what we are much more familiar with, we talk about source of carbohydrate, source of protein, source of lipids or fats, then you have vitamins, minerals. Now, in animal nutrition, it is pretty much the same. You need carbohydrate, you need protein, you need fat, you need lipids, you need minerals. Now, one of the challenging part is delivery of minerals, nutraceuticals. It's a big area and it's a huge market out there, wide open. And not only that this has significance in animal world, this has significance in human world too. where you have to deliver a small amount, potent amount, and without causing any kind of side effect. That's where it comes pretty handy. So food and food additives, okay. So that falls under the family of your nutraceuticals. Nutraceuticals. That is one of the big area. So essentially in the nutraceuticals, when we talk about, we are talking about feed supplement at the nanoscale, okay. So feed supplement like minerals and vitamins, feed supplements at the nanoscale are more bioavailable, or in other words, they are absorbed much more easily, and we will talk about later how these are being absorbed to animals as compared to the micro scale and occur in the gut and better absorbance, okay. So this is one aspect. Now these food and food additives or nutraceuticals could be sources of minerals or metals mostly, which falls under the mineral category, metals, or this could be natural, okay. There are several natural food additives which are available. This aspect of nutraceuticals is exceptionally important from the animal production point of view. See, for example, there are several poultry animals who produces eggs which are pretty fragile, like, you know, the shell is kind of weak, it cracks. It cracks because there is a possibility that the poultry which is producing it is not getting proper calcium support, okay. Similarly, the quality of the yolk kind of goes down. So all these things falls under that trace nutraceutical supply. So for most of the farmers, this area of nutraceuticals, animal farmers, is exceptionally important. And again, one of the challenging part of nutraceuticals is the absorbance in the gut, how fast it can absorb. Because when we talk about nanoparticle, you are realizing, on nanomaterial, so there are three modes by which you can really deliver them. You can, it's just I am digressing from the aspects. So the mode of delivery, if you look at it very carefully, mode of delivery of nanomaterial. So one, it could be direct, or second, it could act as a carrier to deliver something, or it could be entrapped in something, some kind of like a capsule, okay. So it's something like, a capsule you have, and you have the nutraceuticals entrapped in it, or they act as a carrier like this for the delivery of it, or directly they enter, okay. Now nutraceuticals could be delivered in all these three formats depending on how the gut is absorbing the nutraceuticals. So this is one of the very critical aspects, and we'll talk a little bit more once we enumerate where all in the animal production nanoparticle may come pretty handy, okay. So the next area of interest is where a lot of investment is happening is the drug and nutrient delivery. Drug and nutrient delivery. When you talk about drug and nutrient delivery, it can be loaded with traditional antibiotics and may act as a shuttle to release them when in close proximity to a pathogen. So basically, when you talk about drugs, we are talking about antibiotic delivery at targeted site. So, site directed delivery of, short I am writing antibiotic as AB, okay, antibiotic. Similarly, metal nanoparticle may be conjugated to a polymer for a combined nutrient biocide delivery approach, okay. So, exactly something like that. Metal nanoparticles, suppose these are the metal nanoparticles, they will be conjugated with polymers, and suppose this one is the polymer, okay, and these are the nanoparticle here. So, conjugating the metal nanoparticles, these are the metal NP nanoparticle, and this could be a very potent way for nutrient delivery as well as nutraceutical delivery. Similarly, their application as biocides. What are biocides? So, basically they are either the metals or the polymer lies negatively charged gram positive or gram negative bacterial cell wall, okay. They could be used as biocides, like pesticide or something which is antimicrobial, okay. So, this could be either metals or polymers, and they could lyse negatively charged gram positive bacteria or gram negative bacteria. Similarly, these polymers could destabilize bacterial cell walls such that the homeostasis is disrupted and to the lethal extent, okay. In the same line, there is another area which is extremely important in animal production, is the diagnostic tool. So, the diagnostic tools could be, again, could be of two kinds. They could be the magnetic nanoparticles as diagnostic tools, magnetic metal nanoparticles for the MRI, magnetic metal nanoparticle for MRI application, magnetic resonance imaging application, or fMRI. Similarly, fluorescent probes are also available for diagnostics applications, okay, like 2-photon applications and all. The next important area where there is tremendous scope is reproductive aids. In the reproductive aids, we are talking about the purification of sperm through removal of damaged spermatozoa by surface marker recognized by nanoparticle bound antibodies or lectins, okay. So this is especially for the sperm bank, where good quality sperm from high producers are being conserved or preserved. But in order to do that, you have to ensure that your sperm quality is being maintained. So, in that process, you have to remove the damaged sperm so that the material which is coming out from the lysed sperm does not damage the surrounding sperms, okay. For that, so what could be done is purification of sperm through the removal of damaged spermatozoa to the removal of damaged spermatozoa via surface markers recognized by nanoparticle bound antibodies. AB stands for antibodies or lectins. Lectins are carbohydrate binding proteins. Okay. Next important aspect is the molecular biology agents, which is essentially the biotechnology agent. Molecular biology agents in the veterinary medicine. So, which includes nanoparticle, NP stands for nanoparticle based gene delivery, gene transfer, similarly DNA transfection, so if you look at it now, if I had to summarize the areas where it all, so starting from drug to nutrient delivery to nutraceuticals, biocides, diagnostic tools, reproductive aids and molecular biology agent. So, if you look at the spectrum of application of nanotechnology in animal production, the spectrum is pretty wide. There are multiple levels where nanoparticle or nanomaterial find applications in animal production, starting from production to diagnostics to reproductive aids, so on and so forth. Now, there are several criteria by which one has to go through before these products or these kind of stuff could be commercialized, like what is the toxicity level, how much we are injecting into the system. There are several rules or several regulations by different federal governments which takes care of it. So, as we will proceed through, we will be talking about some of these technologies where different kind of nanoparticles have find applications in increasing the muscle mass. We will be talking about especially with respect to cerium oxide increasing the muscle mass. We will talk about some of the nanomaterials which have been used for gene delivery. We will be talking about some of the nutraceuticals which have increased the milk production or egg production. Exactly the same way as we talked in the agriculture, the different nanomaterials, here also we will follow a sequence where we will kind of enumerate them, and this list is going to go up because more and more we are understanding nanobiotechnology and its applications. Biotechnology will have a lion's share from nanoscience in the years to come. So, I will close in here. In the next class, we will take specific examples of nanomaterials which are helping in or which are assisting in animal production. Okay. Thank you.